Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? It's Monday morning, really early. And I am going out for a walk. I go down to the local park. There's a trail, and it's easier to go there than it is to try to walk on the streets where all the cars are rushing by. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about how I was able to retire at 58, because I've had several people in a couple of groups asking me, how did you do it? First of all, I want to let you know I'm single. I do still have a mortgage. I don't have $1 million investment or cash or anything like that. And I have a few health issues, but nothing that's sorry. I do have some health issues, but I manage them on my own. So how did I do it? Well, the first thing I want to let you know is that I had a fairly good paying job. That it was pretty key. About 5 years ago, sorry, I have allergies and my throat is going nuts here. About 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to retire early. And for me, that was about 62. So that I could take Social Security and have some money to pay for extras and not live in an extremely bad situation. Because I've seen people that have been thrown into disability or Social Security or whatever and never had a plan and are in pretty dire straits. So what I did was I started paying off my debts and I set up a budget. First thing I did was decided that I wasn't going to make any new debts so that I would get ahead with that. I cut out all subscriptions to magazines and recurring things that I didn't really use. I cut out the gym membership, I cut cable, I cut out music streaming service, I cut out Consumer Reports, I cut out, did I say gym membership? Maybe I did. I quit cutting my hair, quit coloring my hair, didn't buy anything except things that I needed, and I usually made a list for them, and if I saw something I wanted to buy, I would think about it for a little bit, leave the store or leave it in the basket in the internet or whatever, and go back later and decide if I really wanted it. I sold some things and I started paying off my debt. Then I made a budget. I wrote down everything that I spent my money on through my bank account. I pulled up all my statements. Wrote down everything I had spent money on for an entire year. It was a year now, not 6 months, not 3 months. I did a whole year. And then in each category, I added them all up, divided them by 12, and that showed me what I averaged. And it was pretty shocking. I mean, I made pretty good money. And my basic bills didn't cost me not even a fourth of what I was making. All that other money I was spending on crap. Way too much on eating out, way too much on stopping at the little local store and just getting junk food, way too much on Amazon, way too much on, random shopping whenever I was bored. So I made up a budget and I cut all those things out and I stuck to it. Any extra money over what the budget said is what I put to the debts. And I put some to the mortgage, and I put some to savings, and I increased my 401k. So over time, the debt started getting paid off, and each time a debt would get paid off, I would take that amount and put it towards the next debt. Some people call it the snowball method, some people call it avalanche. I just paid them. And so when everything was paid off, and all I had was the mortgage left, I started putting all the money into my savings account. And I didn't want to do investments because I didn't want to risk not having any money. if the investments went south, then my money would be gone. So I just put it in savings. I had the extra going into 401k, and I'm okay with that. So my plan, like I said, was to wait until I was eligible for Social Security. But you know, when you make plans, you know what happens. And several things happened in the last year and a half that set things in motion where I retired about a week ago, actually. I fell and broke both of my ankles. That set me way back as far as health-wise goes. I have had a real hard time getting back into physically being able to do my job. And then we had other things happen. You know, COVID hit, and then we had a hurricane here. I was off work for 8 weeks. Didn't know if I was going to have a job. Didn't know if I was going to get paid during the time I was off. Then in the middle of that, we were told they were selling our business, our place of employment, and we didn't know if that was going to go through, because if it didn't go through, if the sale didn't go through, they told us that they would be laying us all off, and that would be the end of our jobs. And then several people quit, which put a huge burden on the rest of us to take up the slack. So during that time, the work actually got tougher because it was harder to keep up. And if you have had a job where you were stressed out completely because of being overworked, then you know what I'm talking about. So in March, I decided that I wanted to cut my hours back at work. I had enough money saved up, and I had a budget to where I could work less hours if I wanted to and still kind of stay on track to retire at 62. Well, my boss said no. They said, we can't afford to have you not here 5 days a week because we don't have the people. And I was kind of shocked at that, because I thought they were going to be hiring someone because of the people that had quit, but nope, they weren't hiring anybody. So I thought about that for a little bit, and then I decided I had enough cash to last me a while. And I put my notice in to quit my job. I gave my 2-month notice, and I socked away every bit of cash during that time. I sold my motorcycle that I love. I didn't ever think I would do that, but I sold my motorcycle. I sold some land that I had, and I refinanced my house and got the payment way down. So when the time came and it was time to quit, and I checked into insurance, and that was interesting because I didn't know about getting health insurance. I was kind of scared about that, but I found out that the way the new thing that's out there now through the government is that they've raised the subsidy. They've raised the income limit for the subsidy. So when I finally quit, I found out that my income, as far as up to this point in the year, was low enough that I could get my health care subsidized. And if I get just the basic I'm talking, it won't cost me anything. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm waiting for my last paycheck to actually show up, so I'll have the total income amount and see the details. Anyway, so here I am a week later, and I've been looking back on all of this. I've been a member of several groups, and a lot of people are asking me how I did it, and this is how I did it. So I've got a strict budget. I go over it every month. At the beginning of the month, I go over it again. I see where I've spent my money. I'm finding ways to cut back even more. I found out that my local community has lots of places where you can get free food. There are churches, number of churches that give out free food distributions. I have only went to one because, I have food, I have means to get food, but with a supplement of that, I can cut my food budget even more. The community center where I live has free exercise classes. They have very reduced charges for certain other things, like you can take yoga for $5, Tai Chi, pickleball, there's something else, but I don't remember what that was. And so I've been really searching for things that are free or close to free, and cutting everything down to the bone, because I really, really don't want to have to go back to work. The stress of all that just put a bitter taste in my mouth, and I'm done with it. And so here I am on a Monday morning getting ready to go for a walk. I've walked almost every single day since I've been off, and the one day I didn't walk, I went picking blueberries, which is really nice. I picked 2 pounds of blueberries, and that was a great boost, because blueberries are expensive if you go buy them in the store. Anyway, now I'm rambling, so I'll end it here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I know I probably missed something, but I just wanted to let everyone know how this happened for me. And it didn't go as planned. It went the way it went. It's pretty much. So if you have ideas about quitting your job, believe me, if you're determined enough, it can happen. I wished I'd have started it 10 years ago instead of just 5 years ago, but it is what it is. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.